Chris Gunzz here with the great trainer Joel Diaz. Joel, thanks for joining us. There's a lot of people wondering if the Tim Bradley Juan Manuel Marquez fight is going to come off or not. You're closer to the situation than most everybody else. Do you think the fight's going to happen and come off on the planned date of October 12th? Tim recently told the website Boxing Scene that he's willing to not fight and pull out unless Juan Manuel goes through with Olympic-style drug testing. What do you hear being so close to the situation?
The fight's going to happen. I can tell you this. The fight's going to happen regardless. Tim is doing his thing. He's playing his role. He's going to go on and take the fight regardless if Juan Manuel is going to do the testing or not. We're going to move on and then fight.
Mm-hmm. That's good news. Man, nobody wants to say that the guy did performance-enhancing drugs, but we see what's happening in baseball, and we know what happens in boxing, and we can see very clear differences in Juan Manuel's physical appearance and as a guy, and not even just as a boxing guy, but if you're a guy who lived as long as me and you did, when you look at someone, you could tell certain things about people, and you come up with your own ideas. It looks like he's been doing something different. What do you think about Juan Manuel and his possibility of taking performance-enhancing drugs?
Well, I really don't have an opinion over that. It's been raising some eyebrows around the boxing world due to the fact that, a 40-year-old can't look like an 18-year-old, his physique. He says he works extremely hard. Says that's why his body looks the way it looks, because he works like he says, he works 4 months or 5 months before every fight, which I think that's where I have a doubt, because I don't think there's any fighter out there that would train 4 to 5 months for a fight. That's too much. You'll be burned out. You will be overtrained with so much training. But like I said, I don't think he's using or is not, but it just puts doubt that he just don't want to use the testing. He don't want to go through the testing. But Tim Bradley is a clean guy. He's never thought about it. He's never done anything. Just train hard. And poor kid. At the end of the day, he's always at the wrong end. He's always in the point where he's supposed to lose every fight. Every single one of his fights since we went to England, he was supposed to lose. And the problem with Tim Bradley is he just keeps winning. Yeah. And he has no support whatsoever from the people around him as far as giving him credit for what he does. So, just having a chat with him today, he told me, Coach, whatever it is, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to fight this guy, and I'm going to beat him. He says, I'm going to beat him. The only way he'll beat me is if he knocks me out. And in order for him to knock me out, it takes a lot. He says, but I am going to win this fight. And I'm going to do it. All he told me was this. He says, Coach, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm doing things right, and only God knows. Period. Let's move on.
Yeah. Sounds like a confident Tim Bradley and a Tim Bradley who's ready to get it on. Has Tim come to you and said that he thinks he's guilty of doping, or have you guys discussed it at all together? Because you're messing with someone's life in there. It's not just victory and defeat. This is the hurt business, and it's not a sport where, like Alex Rodriguez is hitting baseballs. You're hitting each other. You're hitting grown men. What has Tim said to you about the situation, and how close do you think he really was to pulling out of the fight?
He looking at the situation as far as the business, he did mention it at first, but then when he took the time to think about it twice, he realized that at this point of his career, his promoter is he don't feel that his promoter is giving him the support, which means if you don't take this fight, he won't fight for the rest of the year.
Yep.
And he says, coach. He says, hey, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And we got a great plan. We're working on a great plan to beat Marquez. I mean, I seen the fight before the previous fight before he fought Manny Pacquiao the last time when he fought Sergey. And you know, I seen a lot of things in one. But I know that that punch it came to eliminate Manny Pacquiao was a devastating punch. But I think that after 3 fights, they already know each other so well in there. And Marquez really practiced that punch. He really worked on that punch. And I just don't believe, and I don't think that Marquez can catch Timothy with that right hand. I mean, I know Timothy exposed a little bit of him on the last fight with Veronica, but I mean, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know about Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley was up to 185 pounds. You know, due to the injury on his ankles after the Pacquiao fight, he was inactive. He didn't have no activity. He had a lot of weight on him, and due to the fact that he had to lose so much weight, he struggled for the weight. He was overweight a week before. He was like way over, like 13 pounds, and we brought the weight down. I mean, I know that the day of the fight, he felt a little dehydrated. You know, it was probably a motive, but I mean, we have no excuses. He pulled it off. But I know that Tim Bradley being 100% with his weight right on point, well hydrated, I don't think Marquez can find Tim Bradley in the ring. Tim's too fast, and he's very agile in there. You know, he's very slick, and it's gonna be a great fight. I know that Juan Manuel Marquez is a very skillful fighter. He has a lot of technique, and then along with a great trainer like Nacho, they always come with a good plan, and they improvise after every round. And you know, coming back to your question earlier, the question earlier, of course, you know, Tim's always mentioned, you know, that he just don't think it's fair that there's fighters out there that are using performance enhancements, you know, to move on in the game. And you know, he really never mentions it about Juan, but it raised a doubt after Juan said that he wasn't going to take no test.
Yeah. And
the agreement was, before we took the fight, the agreement was, okay, we do the fight, and it was agreed upon both camps, where both camps agreed to take the testing before we signed the contract, and that was the agreement. So when we did that, okay, the fight's on, we both take the test. It was a done deal. And then when we went on the press tour on the Max Kellerman face-off, that's when Juan Manuel said he's comfortable with USADA. And he just kept repeating, I'm comfortable with USADA because USADA is Olympic testing. And every time they asked him the question, he just kept repeating the same thing over and over. So that's when Bradley started doubting, you know?
Yeah, and that's when we all started doubting, I think. And we know that Juan is desperate to be the best. I mean, he already proved his greatness even before the speculation of using anything. I mean, you could tell he's desperate when he starts drinking his own urine and his own piss, whatever. But, you know, I mean, if you're willing to do that, you're willing to do pretty much anything. So it's good news, though, that Tim...
We'll do whatever it takes. We have absolutely nothing to hide. We can test Tim Bradley every day, all day. You know, there is nothing to hide on this kid. It's just that he believes that his natural ability and his hard work, dedication, and determination is what got him to where he is right now. So, absolutely. You know, he don't need anything. You know, and like I said, you know, I don't know why. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. But you know, Marquez is working with a great person, a very smart person that was involved with Olympic for steroids, you know, and performance enhancements in the past. Yep. And you know, it just raised a doubt on us because according to them, they started training like 3 months ago. You know, and like, wow. I mean, you start training 3 months ago for a fight. I mean, that's too much. But I mean, like I said, I don't know. But it just makes us think.
Yeah, and Bob Arum said that Marquez is willing to do USADA but not VADA testing, and Juan said that he thinks Tim is scared of him. That's why he didn't want to do the testing. He just blamed it on Tim being scared. What did Tim have to say about that? Juan's saying he's scared.
Tim is not scared of anybody. No. He's never dodged anybody. He's never been scared of anybody. And that's just Juan, being himself. Mm-hmm. He's just trying to play mind games. But he knows perfectly well Tim is not scared of him. I mean, honestly, Manny Pacquiao, has great power, has great speed, and every time he got Bradley slipped every single punch. Maybe he got hit like 2 or 3 punches out of 10. And I don't think Juan Manuel Marquez is as fast as Manny Pacquiao. He's very accurate. He's very smart, very slick. But I just think Manny Pacquiao's speed is a difference. And he's very relentless also. Marquez is a fighter that is in front of you, trying to make you make mistakes, trying to make you pay for your mistakes. Manny Pacquiao just comes. He just comes and he's very relentless. He's aggressive. And Marquez will come looking for you up to a certain point. He'll box, he'll counterpunch you, but he's not going to be aggressive getting inside. And that's a big difference. Yeah. But I just think that going in that ring, we should all be fair. We should all be fair and fight fair. Like if he is using any enhancement performance, basically, like you said, he's cheating. We can look back at the Margarito situation. That's called cheating. Yeah. And like you say, there's a person's life in stake in the ring, and why not just be fair and do things the right way.
Yeah, and Joel, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to play devil's advocate and make you answer, oh, Tim is not afraid of Juan. I think anyone in their right mind knows that Tim Bradley's not afraid of any guy in the weight class. He'd fight anybody. I know it, and I'm sure anybody who knows anything about Tim knows it. But what I don't like is a cheater, and I don't like that Juan Manuel would say something like that to kind of play with people's intelligence and play with people's just making us feel stupid as if we have nothing to think about. A lot of people think, and reasonably for a good reason, that he did do something. Not only his body, but the people he's dealing with. That's why people think these things. And for him to act like it's not worth him taking tests, even though he's dealing with these people, and he looks the way he looks, I just don't like that. I think that if you're a champion, you should be willing to put yourself through Olympic-style testing with no problem, especially in a sport like boxing.
If you're such a professional and there's nothing to hide, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Do whatever you guys. If there's any doubts in your mind, if you guys think that's going to remove doubts in people's eyes, hey, let's do whatever you put me through. I just think that's the best way to put it. But it was just funny how he started very defensive when Max Kellerman asked him, "Why aren't you taking the test?" And he got nervous. You could tell right away he got nervous, and they had to cut it off. And then later they had to bring it back. They brought the same subject later, in which he repeated like four or five times back to back and saying, "Oh, well, I just believe in USADA because USADA is Olympic testing, and that's what I believe in." And they kept asking him the same question, and he kept repeating the same question over and over. Those are the things that make you think, why doesn't he want to take VADA? Why USADA? There's a difference in both companies. Mm-hmm. But he just stuck to that, and that was it. And that was the reason why Tim said, okay, why doesn't he want to do the VADA test? Tim is willing to do VADA and USADA and whatever they put him through, Why? Because he has nothing to hide.
Yeah, no, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying he's definitely guilty of anything either. I mean, I have no proof of it, but I could just go by what I think and what I see, and I gotta be honest with what I think and see. The great Nacho Bearstein said that Tim didn't respect other athletes. He said that Marquez was testing in the morning before and after the fight, and they didn't find anything. He said that they will never find anything in Juan Manuel. He got that extra muscle through being healthy and putting massive effort into his workouts. He said that an athlete who trains and cares is going to get the results that Juan Manuel got. He also said that whenever an athlete is successful at something, they always say that they're taking something. Is he trying to play naive too? As if?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, come on. I mean, you got Heredia working with him. You know, that guy is really smart. You know, I mean, that guy is so smart. He knows how to play with the system. I mean, come on, you gotta do your research on a person like him, and you can get some results. I mean, there's ways where you know, these guys do their thing way ahead of time. They build whatever they gotta build, and then, you know, all of a sudden when it's time, I just think they also buy time. You know, I mean, they buy time, and all of a sudden, okay, you can test them, but you know, they know when and when not to. But I mean, come on, it's just like you said earlier, it raises doubts on people because the fact that, you know, the team, the person, since he started working with Heredia, things changed.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of things changed. I mean, his performance, wow. I mean, he's getting older, but he's getting better.
And he's growing more hair. He's not going bald anymore. He's growing more hair.
he's not going bald. He's growing more hair. I mean, his legs are like a bantamweight, but his body's like a welterweight. You know, it's just amazing. But you know, like Tim said, you know what, Coach? Let's move on. I'm still gonna beat him, even if he is. If he isn't, I'm still gonna beat him.
Yeah. And he's always been a great fighter, though. One of the great technicians the sport's ever seen. What is the plan for Tim to fight and beat Juan Manuel? What's the game plan? Do you want to give anything out, or do you just want to keep it a secret?
I just want to keep it a secret. I'm just gonna. All I can tell you is this: that a lot of people think that Tim's gonna run. You know, Tim's gonna be in front of them all night. All we have to do is, what I can tell you is that Tim has to be very smart. He can't be stubborn and stupid like he was the last time. I told him, because the fight plan that we had for Veronica was not used in the fight, and he used it at some point where he was okay, but then he wanted to prove a point. You know, he got banged up a little bit, but you know, because he was really hurt with the boxing world after the Pacquiao fight. There was a point in which we talked about it. I said, man, it would have been better for us to walk away with a loss. We probably would have got more credit than walking away with a win. And, you know, we talk about a lot of things, but that night, Tim Bradley, you know, went in there in the exchange with Manny, with Veronica, because of the things he had inside. You know, inside his mind, there was a lot. He was hurt. Tim was hurt physically and mentally, you know, because of the comments, people attacking him, you know, threatening him. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. We went through some hard moments, and you know, he felt the relief after the Veronica fight, even though he got banged up a little bit. But you know, I think that for this fight, he has to be on point with my instructions. He always tells me, Coach, when I follow your instructions and I listen to you, I do good. When I go on my own and try to do my own thing, I get in trouble. So basically, we are focusing on a strategy where he's going to listen to me. He's going to listen to me round by round. And, you know, and we're gonna have to make adjustments every round just like they are. Because every round, they adjust.
Yeah. And he better listen to you.
You are going to see Tim Bradley exchange. Yeah. You are going to see Bradley stand in front of Marquez and exchange. Don't think that Tim's going to be running around the ring. No, he's not. He's going to be right there. He's going to be right there in front of Juan all night.
Yeah, going to be a great fight for the welterweight championship. It's one of the hot divisions in boxing. Lots of good fighters in and around the weight class, and just one of the many great fights scheduled around there right now. What do you think of Tim's last opponent? You mentioned him, Provodnikov. He's taking on Mike Alvarado, moving up from 140. That should be a war. What do you think of that one?
That's a tough fight and a great fight. I think that if Mike Alvarado don't maintain the distance for the whole fight, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Mike Alvarado needs to box Provodnikov and bring the same fight plan that we had. Provodnikov cannot punch you if you're moving on him. He has to sit comfortable in order for him to unload. But if you're moving on him, he can punch you.
Yep.
If Mike Alvarado stands in front of him and exchanges over and over, he will get hurt because Provodnikov can take a punch. He is very strong, and he can hit really hard.
Yeah. And in the next few months, there's going to be a lot of shakeups happening in the welterweight division. A lot of fights happening. What do you think about Manny Pacquiao? He's coming back from that devastation against Juan Manuel, and he's taking on Brandon Rios in China. What do you think about that one?
You know, I have a lot of respect for every fighter and every trainer. They put in their time. They pay the dues in the gym, and you know, there's fights that are made for. There's fighters that are made for fighters. I just think that Brandon Rios is a smaller version of Margarito.
Yeah. So
he's a one-dimensional. He comes forward. He always comes forward. I've never seen Brandon Rios fight. I mean, move back. I never seen him box. And I'm going to tell you something. You come looking for Manny Pacquiao, you're going to run into a problem. You know, if you want to give Manny Pacquiao trouble in the ring, you got to box him. You got to box him, and, you know, maybe you can, complicate his fight. But if you come looking for him, you're going to run into some problems because he is very aggressive. And he is really hard with both hands. And Brandon Rios is a one-dimensional fighter. He comes forward. He has a lot of heart. He has a lot of balls. But I just think that accumulation of punches from Manny he's gonna get hurt. I don't think this fight will go past 8 rounds, honestly.
Did you say 8 rounds?
I don't think it will pass 8.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty. I can't argue with that. I can argue, but I'm not going to go against you. You're a smarter guy than I am, I think. But what do you think about China and them throwing their hats in the boxing ring? That's exciting for their sport.
You know, it's a new place for boxing. They're bringing the boxing to China. They're testing their waters over there. I guess, you know, the events they've done over there so far, they have been successful, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no bad place for boxing as long as there's boxing fans.
That's right. Everyone wins. Big family, bigger family now. Most lived-in place in the world. So
that's right.
It's good for boxing. What do you think about Canelo and his chances going against Floyd?
I don't think Canelo has a chance.
No chance.
No, I mean everybody always says Canelo has that 1-punch chance. Everybody's had it against Floyd. I mean, Shane Mosley had that chance with a punch. Zach Judah, Miguel Cotto. I just think that Canelo is not ready for a Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is too slick. He's too fast. Canelo will not come look for Mayweather. He's not a brawler or a boxer. He is just like one. You know, he's always in front of you. And Canelo makes a lot of mistakes. He opens too wide when he punches. He exposes himself. And man, Mayweather is the smartest, the fastest, the slicker fighter. He'll catch you in every mistake you make. I mean, look at Guerrero. Guerrero is a tough fighter. He's a big boy. He's aggressive. He came in there and smothered Andre Berto. And he tried everything against Floyd. And believe me, to get caught with 3 straight right hands down the middle in front of you on a southpaw, that is very, very amazing. Floyd Mayweather did it. You know, he's in front of him, and he would shoot the straight right down the middle, boom, and then he would come again and again, 3 times in a row against Robert Guerrero. You know, that's amazing. Yeah. Now, against Canelo, he's young. He still needs more experience. the opposition that he's fought. I mean, I don't think it's at the level, not even half of the caliber that Mayweather is.
Yeah. I was talking to your brother Julio too about Floyd. I know he respects Floyd a lot. How good do you think Floyd is?
Floyd is the greatest, honestly. I don't think there's anybody out there that can beat Floyd. How good he is.
How good is he in terms of all-time greats compared to like Sugar Ray Leonard, people like that?
The best. I mean, Ray Leonard had a lot of speed. I mean, he was fast on his feet and stuff. But Floyd is just sleek. He's just smart all around. I mean, he moves his feet. I mean, his eyes. I mean, his reflexes are very, very fast. His instinct is very fast, and most of all, his timing. He has beautiful timing. At one point, Tim Bradley told me, he's a coach, and you know what? To hear this from a fighter, you're training a fighter that will tell you, coach, I want to fight that guy. I can beat him. You would always hear that from a fighter, right? I mean, you hear any fighter out there that would say, coach, I want to fight Floyd Mayweather. I'll beat him. I think I can beat him. But you know what? When you have a fighter that is a world champion and comes and tells you, coach, did you see Floyd? Yes. That guy is bad. He is bad. He motivates me. Tim told me, Floyd Mayweather motivates me, coach. He inspires me. And he told me, if I would ever get the opportunity to fight Floyd Mayweather, like everybody in press conference says, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take you out. I said, yeah. He said, if I would walk up to the podium, I would say, Floyd, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I just want to feel what it feels to be in the ring with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Timothy is following Floyd Mayweather's career.
Yeah.
And he tells you what Mayweather does, as far as moving, his instinct. I mean, Floyd is, he is, honestly, very, very good fighter.
Yeah, I agree. And that's going to be a great card. He's fighting Canelo. What do you think about the undercard? One more fight. I just wanted to get your pick on the great fight between Danny Garcia and Lucas Matisse. What do you think of that one?
That's going to be a great fight. Both young, both strong heavy hitters. But I got Matisse on this one.
Yeah.
I think Danny hits really hard, but his punches are always wide, Matisse's defense is really good. And Matisse can punch. Matisse can punch real hard. And his defense is a lot better than Danny. And they both hit hard. They're both at that point. But I got Matisse at this one. Honestly, Matisse beat Zab Judah, and I think he beat Devin Alexander. I just think Matisse is at a point right now where after he beat Lamont Peterson, he's boosted his stocks up. And, it's going to be a great fight. Don't get me wrong, because Danny Garcia is no pushover. But I just think that Matisse will come victorious tonight.
Yep, I agree. And I mentioned your brother Julio Diaz. What's he up to now? Has he got a fight coming up? And last we saw of him, I think, was in April when he was giving Amir Khan all he could handle. What's next for Julio?
Well, Amir Khan thought, I'm going to bring Julio to England. Julio's done. I'm going to knock him out in 2-3 rounds, and that's going to push me up. But if you saw the fight, Julio was always in control. Julio never got hurt. He dropped Amir Khan and almost took him out in the 9th and then the 11th round.
Yep.
But, his performance brought his stocks up, and now we're going a rematch against Sean Porter again for the second time.
Oh, yeah? When's that scheduled for?
September 12th.
Wow.
Vegas.
Is he in training yet?
He's been in training for the past 3 weeks.
Wow, that's great. That's good news. That's good fight. That was a big turnaround.
The first fight, it was a draw.
Yep.
I think they gave it a draw because it was a Golden Boy fan. Sean Porter is a sport, and he was promoted by Golden Boy. So now we know Julio says that, you know what, Sean Porter has nothing to hurt me. This time, I'm not going to take no rounds off. I'm just going to bring it to him from the beginning. So I just think that, Julio, if you can't hurt Julio, Julio will hurt you. And I think that, the second time around with Sean Porter is going to be a great fight, and it's going to be a great event that night where I think Julio is going to finally get his fair share.
Yeah, and quickly, just one question back to Tim. What's his weight at now? You said he came in at 185 because he hurt his ankle last time. I'm curious to what his weight is now. Is he keeping it down lower so he could focus more on getting in shape or getting in?
Tim's weight is great right now. He is already in like the low 60s, like 62, where we still have 10 weeks of training. Mm-hmm. That's plenty of time. Oh, yeah. He's been working on his weight for the past 2 months already. He's been good. He's been healthy, and he's training really hard. He has a great diet, and he's moving on real well.
Yeah. So you got Julio and Tim in the gym together. It should be good for both of them. That I know that they bring out the best in each other in sparring and stuff. They give each other great sparring. So
yeah, we all work together. Whenever we need sparring, especially Julio is getting Sean Porter, and Timothy is getting Marquez. We all help each other, and they're both motivate each other. They pump each other up, and in my camp, there's nothing but positive attitude every day.
Yeah, and you help it. You're the captain of that ship, and you bring in a good mood and a good attitude. Who else you working with? You got Tim, you got Julio. Who else you got?
I got Diego, Jesse Magdaleno. I got Jamie Cavanaugh. That's it. I got Tim Bradley. I got Joel Diaz, Jamie Cavanaugh, Diego Magdaleno, Jesse Magdaleno, and I just spoke to Joel De La Hoya. They're bringing me their nephew down, Diego De La Hoya. He's in some pro. He's a great amateur. Yeah. A great amateur, and I guess they want me to train him. I guess they have him scheduled to fight on the Floyd Canelo undercard. So, wow. That's another project right now.
That's good news for you and him. What's next for the Magdaleno boys?
Jesse will fight August 24th. Yeah. Hollywood, and then Diego will fight on Chavez Jr. undercard September 7th. So they're all in camp right now. Everybody, they've been in training camp for three weeks. I'm going into 4 weeks now this week, and they're doing real good. Everybody's in great shape. The weight is down. I always have them scheduled on the weight. Every week they have to give me the weight that I ask, and the physical conditioning is great. Mentally they're well prepared. So we don't leave anything behind when we go to the fight.
One of the best trainers in the business, Joel Diaz. Thanks for taking time, Joel. And I appreciate talking to you every chance I get. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Anytime. Just let me know.